Greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the show today. Yemi Adebayo here. Tonight on the show, we're going to take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. We're going to make brief stops across the globe. We're going to Costa Rica at some point. We're talking about what's going to happen here in Nigeria, talking about the world of sports. It's upon us now, just about 4 days actually, to that rematch between Anthony Joshua and Usyk. We'll talk about that. It will dominate our thoughts. The fight will take place in Saudi Arabia. Of course, we get a chance to listen to both boxers as we move on the show tonight. Also on the show, we'll give you a lot of grassroots. A lot of things happening across Nigeria, five-a-side football, grassroots football. We'll talk about it. A slice of basketball we'll put into the mix as well. We look at what's happening with D Tigers. We'll also do that for you. How about the preparations for the 2022 FIFA World Cup? What is Qatar doing? What is Qatar up to? We'll also beam our searchlight on that as well as we move on the show. We will also talk about the interesting situation in the fiery North London derby. Thomas Tuchel and, of course, his counterpart, Antonio Conte, have gotten themselves on the wrong side of the FA. We'll talk about them as we move on. Football transfers is also another angle that we will look at this time of the season. It's all about football transfers, who's going, who's staying, and of course, who is making the exit. So that's the outlook of the show. And we will not forget also to talk about the man taking all the attention in Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo. Will he stay, will he go? We'll talk about that as we move on the show. All right, so that's the outlook of the show for today. We urge you to sit back, relax as we do this with you. Usually I'm not alone. I always have my partner, Austin Okon-Akpan, with me. And on a day like this, of course, we're going to be together, taking you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. So in a bit, he's going to join us. And of course, he's here. So greetings to you, Austin. Good to do this with you as usual.
What a greatest to you, Yemi. I was like, get me in. I couldn't wait, hearing you read out the lineup for the show. I couldn't, agree less that it's still an action-packed world of sports. What a story in the English Premier League. Thomas Tuchel and, of course, Antonio Conte. And like, look, we miss Jose Mourinho. So let's give the Premier League fans some of those things that Jose Mourinho, will dish out. And the FA now waiting to clamp down on them real bad. Anthony Joshua and Usyk. What a story. The rage in the sea, in Jeddah, in Saudi Arabia. I was at that presser in Lagos, in London, and I could already feel the heat because Anthony Joshua says he wants to come back and prove a point that he is indeed the champion in the heavyweight category. You know the story, Usyk is dangerous, So we have a fight upon us August the 20th. I cannot wait for that. And we'll also show some love to the Falconets. We said what we said the other time on this show. They're showing good character. Anthony Joshua right there on your screen. He's been preparing for this fight big time. And look, for Anthony Joshua and his fans in the United Kingdom, it's a win or a win. He believes he can become the world champion for the third time. And for a guy who has lost to two smaller guys, the first time he did was against Andy Ruiz. He bounced back. Now he has a chance to go back again and prove a point against Usyk, who to me is a tricky opponent. I asked Usyk when I met him in London, and I said, what are you going to do with this fight? He said he's going to get out there and get the job done. That for him is just doing a job. So Anthony Joshua has a lot to prove. Usyk has a lot to prove. We'll get to know. Meanwhile, they had their public workouts today ahead of that fight in Jeddah, in Saudi Arabia. Look, I still stand where I stand. I love Anthony Joshua. I like the things he has brought to heavyweight boxing, but he has a very tricky fight ahead of him when he takes on Usyk on August the 20th.
All right, we can both agree this is going to be a defining moment for Anthony Joshua. All right, let's stay with that story. Austin told us about the public workout, and of course, the cameras were there. They got to speak. Let's take some reactions from that, event. Then we'll come back and talk some more. Our studio guest is waiting. We'll bring him in.
Loading weight. You know what I learned? Like, previous experiences are helpful, but it's all about the night, right? What you do on the night. So, yeah, I don't know how much it will help me, but I'm focused and I'm just ready to get the job done.
But you've always shown a great ability to adapt and learn quickly during your career. How much did you learn at Spurs last September?
Well, I feel like one of my main strengths is I'm a quick learner, I'm a sponge. But ultimately, right, aside from all the learning and stuff like that, it's a fight. It's a fight, that's it. Whoever throws the most punches and lands the most punches wins. That's all that matters, isn't it?
Everybody keeps talking about how you need to do this and that and do things differently. For you, is it a case of showing us something new, or is it a case of getting in there and showing everybody who you've always been?
Do my best. Just doing my best. And that's all I can do.
Okay, I've got to ask you for a prediction. It's the law.
What's everyone saying? Knockout! Inshallah. We're going for a knockout.
Thanks very much. Good luck on the weekend.
All right, that's it. Of course, a very positive Anthony Joshua speaking there. And of course, hopefully, for the sake of his fans, we'll see that knockout he's talking about. All right, I have Kehinde Idris with me. Greetings to you, Kehinde. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show today. Let me throw you in quickly. Yeah. Austin's going to join us. Joseph Atewa is also waiting in the wings. What do you make of everything that surrounds Joshua? Yeah. It looks like he really wants to go into this bout brawling, fighting.
I think if there is one thing we've known of Joshua in recent time, good evening, by the way, is the fact that he adapts. Over, the years, there's been different boxers, different approaches. He's not one that is known for just one style. I can remember the Andy Ruiz, fight. After he lost the first one, we saw I had to adjust, adapt, and then just went for getting off points, off Andy Ruiz, and he got the job done. Against this fine boxer, Joshua-Usyk, nothing comparing to Andy Ruiz. He's way better. No disrespect to Andy Ruiz, but he's way better. When it comes to you going toe-to-toe with boxing, I guess he is better than Anthony Joshua. Where I think Anthony Joshua would have the edge is the adaptation he has, shown us over the years. If he does that well again against, Joshua-Usyk, we might be seeing Anthony Joshua, triumph. But like, Austin went ahead to keep, hammering on, this is a very tricky one. And if you understand Arabic so well, what he said in his interview at the end, inshallah, which means God willing, I will get the day. And he has rested it. I've done my part, and I'm waiting for the part where probably Providence gets to smile on me. And at the end of the day, I'm being pronounced as the winner. But Usyk, I guess he has seen there is a weakness I can still take off, Anthony Joshua. And what is that weakness? Just go by your tactical boxing outrightly, no fears, enter into Joshua so well, and he might just get this. It's so tricky.
All right. Kehinde is giving us his thoughts on the upcoming bout. I have the guys ready now, and I'm very sure I can go to them now and talk. All right. Okay, so let me just welcome Joseph Atewa. Austin is back with us. Of course, he has a lot to say, a lot of feelers. He's very close to the Joshua camp, so it will fill us in. But Joseph, you listen to me, you listen to Kehinde Idris, and you listen to Austin as well. By the way, thanks for joining us this lovely Tuesday evening. I want to get your thoughts. Are we going to see anything different from Usyk? Because people are saying this. Are we going to see anything different? Is he just going to try to outbox Joshua? Or you think he might do a Fury, what Fury did to Deontay Wilder? Just come, they think I'm going to box, but I'm going to come out and knock him out. Do you see any of those things happening?
Well, of course, first of all, I think that Anthony Joshua is a good fighter. This Delaware has got into a most respecting. And for what Kehinde said, I think he needs to apologize for that, saying that Usyk is a better fighter. I totally disagree. You don't say that. I feel for what Anthony Joshua is doing right now is playing the mind games. He said, inshallah. Come on. He knows what he's doing. He needs to defend that title. He needs to get it back, whatever it is, anywhere, anyhow. He needs to get a title. Enough of this soft talk, and that's his problem. He goes to the press conference. He has his pep talk before fights. All he says, well, I'll do my best. No. You need to challenge your opponents. You need to defeat them even before the fight, and that is where I think Joshua is lacking. Aside that, Joshua is a very great fighter. And for Usyk, the only thing that will be working for him will probably be war happening in Ukraine right now. Maybe that alone is enough motivation for him, but then Anthony Joshua knows what is at stake at the moment, and trust me, I predict a 6-round exit for Usyk.
Okay, all right. Let me go to Kane is with me. I'm tempted to ask Kane something, but I have to go.
Tempted to say something, though.
I want to go to Austin first. Do you think Joshua should brawl more? Do you think he should be louder at press conferences? Do you think he should get under the skin of his opponents? I mean, his persona has worked for him so far. Does he need to change anything?
When I spoke with Joshua's trainers, particularly Coach Garcia, when they had that press conference in London, he said Anthony Joshua must frustrate this guy. He said Anthony Joshua must own the fight. I think that's the mentality Joshua needs to take into it. And Joseph Atewe, I agree with Kehinde Idris that Usyk is a better fighter. If you check Usyk's record right from the amateur ranks to when he became a pro fighter, the biggest mistake Anthony Joshua made in that first fight was to try to box a better boxer. This guy is a fighter, more like even a street fighter. So there's no way Anthony Joshua was going to go the distance with this guy. So when Coach Garcia said he must own the fight, he was saying Anthony Joshua mustn't give this guy room to think. Show that you're the bigger man. Show you're the guy who lost the belt. And I think that's the mentality that they are throwing into Anthony Joshua every day when they train for this big fight. Say, go out there, prove to this guy that you are mad about losing your belt. Prove to this guy that you have done so much to get to the level where you are. Prove to this guy that you must win, because if you don't win this fight, it takes you, Anthony Joshua, out of prominence. Yep. So I think it's a lot of mental work here. I mean, that's what they need to do. Does Anthony Joshua have the quality to beat Alexander Usyk? Yes, of course he does. But he needs to step it up. He needs to show it. He needs to be mad. You listen to the interview I had with Derek Chisora. I was trying to see if there could be any way out for Anthony Joshua in this fight. And he said, no, Austin, just knock him out. Pop and plain, simple.
Make it simple.
Knock him out, go out there, get the job done. Because if you, Anthony Joshua, don't win this fight on August the 20th, we will be struggling to look for his relevance in heavyweight boxing. And it is what it is. Deontay Wilder is getting ready to pop back. There's also some of these guys in the heavyweight category who believe that they are even better than Anthony Joshua. The only way you can stop those sort of talks is to beat this guy called Alexander Usyk on August the 20th. And if knocking him out is the way to go about it, then he should just go out there and get the job done.
All right, Kehinde Idris, I want us to look at these two guys and also our opinions. There's no need for you to respond to what he said, because Austin has said something. I'm very sure Joseph Atewe, I'll give him a chance to say one more thing about this fight. But Usyk says, I'm doing this for all of Ukraine.
Yeah.
I'm carrying them on my shoulders. Yeah. This means a lot to me.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? Will that add another dimension to this fight?
It does.
Because it looks like it's coming into this bout. My people are suffering. My people are under siege. I must bring smile to their faces. I must make them happy. Will that emotionally make him stronger? Do you think that would be a factor in this bout?
Yeah, the Catalans, Barcelona, whenever they play Real Madrid, they tell you every win is beyond football. It's political. It seems like we're winning for our people because of the whole, independence and all of that. And that is the same thing Alexander Usyk. While he was about to drop his gun, because, he was also in the war
left
front.
To join the army.
Yes,
yeah.
The Klitschko
Stop
brothers.
negotiation at some point.
The Klitschko brother, this was weeks before, 20th is just around the corner. This was way before now. And they said, do this, drop your guns, and go win on another capacity. You're winning already by standing in line as a man to defend your nation. And now you should go into the ring, win that fight, and then send a lot of message to the entire world that Ukrainians are here to stay. They are fighters and they will go all the way. Now, if you feel the weight of the entire nation, not as a load, but more like they are carrying you through, I think you feel like you're way more than the other man. He feels bigger, like larger than life right now, standing in front of Joshua. For Joshua, the only thing we are talking about is the legacy. He's got a huge legacy that this fight does rest on. If nothing goes right for Joshua, like Austin just said, we might just struggle to look for Joshua in the heavyweight category. But for Usyk, he's looking at, if I lose this fight, it's also a loss for Ukraine, the entire country. So you can see the texture. But also, if you're looking at how big you are in this category, I think Joshua has lots more to lose than Alexander Usyk. And when you're the man who, as much as he's holding 4 belts, if you're the smaller man, you almost have nothing to lose. So if Alexander loses on August the 20th, it seemed like, okay, this is normal. But if Joshua gets to lose,
It's going to cost him more.
it's going to cost him more.
All right.
And that is where the news will sit in.
Okay. Joseph has been waiting patiently. So let me just bring Joseph back in. You don't agree with, obviously don't agree with people who feel that Usyk is a better boxer, is a better fighter. I know where you stand, and I respect your opinion. But taking into consideration what everybody has said about Joshua's strengths and weaknesses and Usyk's strengths, people are not talking about his weaknesses because very few. What do you think Joshua needs to do to win on Saturday?
Joshua needs to do. He spoke about the rivalry between those guys. And so someone asked me, after being beaten by Liverpool, what were leading 3-0, they came back 3-0 before Arsenal lost to Barcelona. I'm talking about AC Milan here. It was the motivation, knowing full well we need to win this competition, and that should be the 2007 final year. So going back to this game, see, a lot will be working for Usyk here. Austin also spoke about how he grew through the ranks. Don't forget that Usyk, out of the 15 or 18 matches before he hit that level of professionalism, also stuttered at some point. We look at Anthony Joshua from the Olympics, whatever it is, blue, and the world, of course, recognizing him today. So going into this game, Usyk has a lot backing him in the sense that it's from Ukraine. We know the war happening in Ukraine. If you watch La Liga, the flag is always there. The world wants that war to end, and we understand that's enough motivation for him. But Anthony Joshua, as I said, when it comes to pep talk, he has them. It gives his opponents that opportunity they can. You don't make them believe. And that is why you have always a team nothing. I want him to look in.
Okay, all right. I guess we have to move on from this. KD, you're still with me, and we're going to do something interesting now. Let's leave boxing and go to the Commonwealth Games. Let's just quickly talk about the aftermath of the Commonwealth Game. Islamiyat Yusuf, of course, she was well received in Osun State, celebrated. She won a bronze medal, put her state on the map, and she was received at home. But of course, one of the things she said, she has called upon sports authorities in Osun to provide better facilities for weightlifters in the state. She is confident that state has a capacity to produce many athletes like her. She said this during the reception held at the Shogbo Township Stadium to celebrate her performance in Birmingham, where she placed third on the podium in the women's 64-kilogram category. That's what happened, and that's pictures on your screen. Let's see if we quickly listen to her, and of course, probably go on break from there. Thereafter, we'll come for more on Sports Today.
The government here in Osun, the facilities is not well enough, it's not good enough for the trainers, for even the beginners, talk less of the advanced athletes that have been representing the country. I think they should support with things that they would like to support us with for better facility, equipment. When I get to the, I've been representing the country in different, I've been representing the country. So I saw the facilities there, the well equipped, the way they are training there is quite different from here. So that's just it.
To continue to be humble, to humble ourselves, and to give the respect to the coaches and always appreciate them. We will be very happy to make Nigeria proud, just the way she has just did to make us proud. So we are very happy for that.
This kind of weight need someone who is very energetic. Do you understand me now? I mean that, that he used our body anyhow, he wouldn't have been in the stage he is today. So we thank God of Almighty that the girl that made some people proud, the states, the Nigeria, the West Africa, Africa as a whole, and the whole world. So we are celebrating today.
All right, welcome back. Let's go straight into basketball. Basketball has had some issues in the last few months, but we're gradually getting back into the grind. And this next thing we're going to talk about, I'm going to leave it to the guys because I'm a little confused myself. Coach Mike Brown has released a roster of 15 players for the D Tigers to prosecute upcoming matches. All right, so Austin is with me, and Joseph Atewe is with me. Austin is already smiling, so I'll go to Austin first. Is Coach Mike Brown still our coach? That first is first, and I'm a little confused, really. Help me out. I mean, innocently, I'm confused. But good one that there's calm now, and we gradually, but then again, you feel, when we begin to communicate, the information we get makes us ask questions. Then it makes us get perplexed. I am perplexed, actually, but maybe you can help me out.
So, I mean, we are members of the fourth estate of the realm, and if we don't know where to stand as regards who is the coach of the D Tigers, then there's problem. There's serious problem, you know what I mean? And that's what we've always talked about with the administration of basketball in Nigeria. The leadership, they need to come out and let us know if they want to be part of this, or the ministry should just plainly tell some people to step aside. If Mike Brown is unveiling a roster for the second round of basketball events, then in that capacity we can say he's still the coach, because it is what it is. But as with the way basketball is going, right after we came out of that self-imposed ban, you could tell now that it's on autopilot. It is what it is. I said this thing before we got into that ban, but when we come out of it, if we don't get it right, it will get worse. And it's already looking that way. I really, really don't know what the guys that are involved with the administration of basketball in Nigeria want to do with this sports. Like, they just don't want it. And they don't just want to leave it. So it just puts us in a place of complete confusion. That's why we should always call on the ministry. It's rather unfortunate, but everything rises and falls on leadership. The ministry should take leadership and let us know if the Basketball Federation are not talking, if they're not letting us know what's going on with the federation, then we hold the ministry responsible and say what's really going on. People must be held accountable. People must be responsible to the position that they claim that they have as regards basketball administration in Nigeria. So with basketball, guys, forget it. This year, let's not expect anything. If a good result comes, take it, because the people who are responsible to us taking basketball to a level where we can call it developed sport, no, they're not ready. And until they are ready to either get out or get serious, this is what we'll keep having, I mean.
Unfortunate. Kade Idris, your thoughts? I'm very sure whatever you're going to say is going to be almost the same as Austin, but at this point, we need a lot of clarity.
I want to even ask you a simple question. Probably Austin, you, anybody who can give answers. Why is it that today we talk about only basketball when it's the national team, the D Tigers, the D Tigers? Basketball is wholesome. Where is the league? Where are the teams, the clubs who play? Where do you get players? Because we have foreign players abroad.
That we can call on.
Mike Brown, who officially was unveiled by a club and then told us goodbye some months ago, and now you're telling us he's the one, releasing 15 names and all of that. You put us in the dark, and then if I and yourself gets to report a story, you will sit in your cozy office and start to call us names. These guys are saying things they don't know. But we'll say something when we do the 2+2 from what we can see. You're not speaking to us. You're not saying anything. This whole Mike Brown thing came as a shocker to most of all of us. And this is what we're getting.
But to play the devil's advocate, I'm going to go to Joseph now. To play the devil's advocate.
Play it well, though.
They would say that there was never any time he officially said bye. He took the job. He took the job. But they might say so. I'm not the one saying it. Because I know.
Okay, devil's advocate.
They might say.
Okay.
But Joseph, your thoughts on all of this. Did it come to you as a surprise, with the way the information was put out? Did any of those things come to you as a surprise, especially with the man purportedly leading the team that we've not heard from in a while?
Well, this is about to Austin and not about to Idris. They've done justice. So to anything I say here will just be an addition here. I think a 15-man roster, we had an issue with the name Mike Brown and, of course, what he has been able to do with the team. But then him releasing that roster, we had an issue with it. And if you look at the caliber of players who were invited, there's a player, I can't remember the name right now, that plays for the Phoenix Suns. And, of course, look at him. He doesn't even make it. So he says a lot about the caliber of players invited, but then you won't blame whoever brought out that list. You look at the players also about the FIBA, and of course when it comes to other sports except football, one will wonder if truly we want to develop other sports in this country. So as I said, just to add to what the guys have said, we have a long way to go.
Wow. Wow, that's very stern there. We have a long way to go. So a lot is happening. I guess we just leave it at that for now. But maybe let's see if we can quickly take a look at the names. Let's see if we can take a look at some of the names. Let me reel out the names. Of course, two Michaels, starting off the lane, Michael Binije, Christian Mekolu, Ben Emelogu, Amanze Egezeke, Josh Okoje, Mike Oni, Ike Nwamu. I mean, these are some of the names. Yes, they've been in and around the team. Uroegbo, John Udo, Abdulmalik Abu, Ibe Aguchi, 15-man. Chimeze Metu as well. D-Tigers, 15-man roster. I like what Joseph said. Look, I mean, Austin said it as well. I don't want to start going around in circles. We're where we are.
Yeah, we are where we are.
And what got our attention is the Mike Brown, not the list of the players.
Not even bringing up a team.
At
not
all.
even the tournament that is to be played is Mike Brown.
And you look at Austin's summation. Whatever we get, let's just take it.
No, I think I even liked
Joseph's
summation. We have a long way to go.
We surely...
Because we're not talking facility, we're not talking development, we're not talking
grassroots.
It's just D-Tigers, D-Tigress, and basketball has ended. So we have a long way to go.
And somehow lists just miraculously show up.
It will show. It will show.
When matches are to be prosecuted.
Another story you might get is if any of these guys turn down Nigeria and say, we're not playing. And then we start to call them names. Nigerians do that a lot. Why are they not patriotic and all of that? But sometimes you've done so much work with your club personally. Now, for you to be in the rumbles of this whole discussion every day, you don't even know who are the ends of affairs when it comes to sanctioning, decisions. So you come, a lot of issues, this payment, that payment, how you should move logistics, and then you look at yourself.
Welfare.
My years of, building myself, in different capacities, and this is why I find myself in the rumbles. No.
All right. If you're used to some certain level of sanity, All right, let's move on the show. Let's talk about things that are a bit heartwarming. Let's talk about a grassroots tournament, of course, that took place in Lagos recently. We talk about seeing people all over doing their bits to develop football. Can you do this? You were talking to me about this clip that we're going to see on the screen, grassroots football, and people even on the sandy pitch.
Yeah.
And you see they love the game, they play the game. I hear it's the third edition. And I mean, is one of the contributions that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And in this case, a church.
Private body.
A church thinking that, look, I don't want these guys to start fighting each other.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, because I was privileged to be at the event, and one of the guys said, for the past days, this competition has been going on. Nobody's talking about fighting anybody. Nobody's talking about any of those things because a grassroots tournament is going on and an opportunity, I mean, to showcase skills.
Even if it's one person that will be discovered at the end of the day, everybody feels like they are contributing into that one person. And if you go in and around the area where this tournament was held, most of the discussion you hear in the morning, in the evening, night, and all of that is, how far? This team will play this team. Did you watch how they played this team? Everybody was, women, girls, men, boys. You saw everybody just rallying around. And all they want to see is the biggest players, the best players, turn up to the next level through this. And this is, you just mentioned, a body doing this. They just had their basketball tournament, and then not too long ago, where we saw new basketball players. These are the quotas we talk about contribution. Now, if the private bodies are doing it, there is a place you now submit the entire thing, which is at the table or at the door of the administrators.
Federations.
And then where does it go from there?
All right, that's a big question. But let's quickly take some reaction. I'll get the guys to chip in a word or two. Tiny drops of water do actually make an ocean if everything begins to fall in line. Let's take that reaction. We'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
So while they are exhibiting their talent, we've got scouts everywhere, we've got coaches everywhere. We'll be looking at them to pick the best of the best. So the platform has been provided, the players have exhibited their talents, and I tell you, we're back here again next year. Bigger talent, better talents, bigger platform as it were. Let everybody do ease on a little bit. I keep saying that, and Nigeria will not be what it is today.
The third edition, and we are taking it outside the local government this time around. If you see that the team that attended this year's edition is not only limited to this environment alone. We have teams from outside. So it's gradually becoming a Lagos thing. And finally, we know it's going to be a Nigerian thing at the end.
Well, you engage the youths, and they are fully engaged. There is that likelihood for them not to take to crime and criminalities. You can see that they have been able to use this platform as a kind of unify them. You know, it fosters unity. If you look at the players, you will know that they are from different backgrounds, different ethnic backgrounds and different homes. So it brings out unity among them.
All right, that's it. I could see a smile on Austin's face. Let me go to Austin. I was privileged to be at this event. I can't remember the last time I watched football on a sandy pitch. But I got to that place and I realized 90% of my football experience growing up was actually on sandy pitches. And we'll leave our homes. Our mothers will send us on errands. We'll forget whatever they told us to go and do just to see people play street football. But that seemed to be lost somehow.
Yeah, I mean, finally I get to know why you didn't take your football to grass. You just left it at the side.
Swinger.
but that was beautiful to see. That was grassroots football in action. We're not celebrating that the way we should be celebrating it. That's futsal, at that level. That's five-a-side. That's creating opportunity at that level for youth who cannot make it to play football on grass, to play football for Aimba, or play football for Aqua United, or even Shooting Stars. We keep saying it that we must explore all the opportunities that sports can give. So futsal is one way that we can use to develop the youth, And I just want to say kudos to the guys who are organizing this, because I know how, they've been determined. They've kept on with this, and we're already, are seeing some benefit come out of it. This is the basic we're saying that can be done to develop sports at that level. If we see basketball doing this, we will commend. We will say there's leadership in place. Now, the people that have put together this five-a-side futsal, they're saying that the top 4 teams will even go on to play against their northern counterparts. So it means they're trying to make it a regional or even a national stuff. So you see, that's huge. That's planning. That's you thinking. That's foresight. That's long-term deliberate planning. So kudos to them. I love the fact that it's not just the regular football that we see. And also, it gave you an opportunity to go out there, reminisce. Remember when you were playing football on sand? I never made it to grass.
Okay, all right. Just a quick one, Austin. We need to. We're getting to futsal. The first clip that we showed was actually a grassroots tournament somewhere in Lagos, and I'm very sure our viewers. You've talked about the futsal. You've given them all the information they need to know. I'm very sure they'll also see the visuals on the screen. Five-a-side football. People enjoying themselves. So, all right. So, I mean. Kenny, let's just do this quickly. Futsal getting so popular in Lagos, and you're talking about this tournament that Austin just talked about, the Five Stars Premier League that has officially kicked off in Lagos. This also will get us talking.
That is what it should be. Futsal is becoming a household. It's already become a household, tournament around the world, where especially South America, Asia, Europe, they're already making it. Next thing we'll start talking about is the World Cup of Futsal, and it will be so massive because we're finding superstars who had even retired going into futsal, and without much running, they play the game so beautifully and they get, the accolades. So why not? And like I always say about the Nigerian terrain, any sport or any form of, sport that you introduce to our society, you would almost think there are some people that have been waiting somewhere that my sport is coming. The moment it comes, they key into it, and it's just like, they are there for this sport.
That they've been doing it for a while.
They've been doing it for a while, and that is what the futsal will give us.
All right. Let's pause a little. Let's just quickly take some reaction from that futsal. You've seen grassroots football, now the five-a-side that is kicked off in Lagos. Let's take some reaction. We'll come back, get Joseph Atewe's thoughts, and we'll do our best to quickly move on the show.
The fact that we had to come from Abuja and then expand to Lagos, and then the Lagos teams were ready for it. And then you can see how intense the first match was. It was a goalless, and that's to show that everybody, all the teams are ready for this task. So when an environment like football space is competitive, you will see more talent come out of it. So we're optimistic that a lot of talent will come out of this competition, and then at the end, he will be able to supply the other tiers of football in Nigeria, and then they will be able to represent the country in entire large.
This is us bringing back grassroots football back to base, and people can see the awareness of grassroots football. So bringing up this kind of event is fostering relationship among we human beings first and foremost, and then also seeing people come together to play football, which is one of the key sports as far as games is concerned. So it's really a big privilege to be here, and it's a big platform, and we're open to see greater things to come. The idea behind this is now we're discovering talent as it is, and we want to help them to get to a bigger level where they can actually go out there to represent the Nigeria, so to speak, like places like Manchester United, Barcelona. These are the players that we are looking to groom to go and support us down there. So this is a very good foundation for us to start, and I can bet you that the sky is just a stepping stone. We are going places.
That's it, futsal. Hopefully, we'll take this to the highest level, and of course, FIFA is promoting all of these variations and of the game, and hopefully, we'll do well doing it. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Costa Rica because we don't really have much of time on the show. Joseph Atewa, let me come to you. Second group game win for the the Falconets. But maybe we should start having super anyway. I don't know. I don't know. But for the Falconets, are you surprised? We've seen them get to the final, and at some point they cooled off. But now 2 wins. My heart was in my mouth in that second game, but then again they got the job done.
Well, these guys are only making a point here. They are saying, we want to win this title, and we want to be the next set of players that represent Africa on the continent. And I told the fan, I said, what happened at the African Cup of Nations, talking about the female version of the sports, sent a message to the younger girls. We believe that they are a couple of players who do not deserve to be at the Super Falcons team again. And enough for these girls But then let's not celebrate yet. Yemi, Austin, and Idris. I mean, this is just the second game. Yes, for the finals of this competition, we have a rich history when it comes to the competition. To make a statement. Look at the teams that all those teams are gone in their different regions. The amount of especially the Korean team, G2, the last game before this one, won 6 goals to nothing. Says a lot about these girls. Then we went on to win by a lone goal. The first game, even all that, we still got the job done. It means that these girls are well focused. If you listen to the main was one of the players selected, and she's optimistic that Nigeria will clinch this title.
All right.
We have one more game round at the first round before we even talk about the quarterfinals. And trust me, I believe these girls can go far because there's more than enough motivation, not even from Akuta to Island.
All right, Joseph Atewa, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Of course, we'll get to do this again next week.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. As Joseph Atewa, giving us his thoughts. Can you do this? Let's see if we can quickly get on screen what it looks like. This is the part of the presentation that I always like. The Group C table after 2 matches, and the joy in our hearts, our team leading. Yeah. And it appears like that's how it's going to be.
In a World Cup.
In a World Cup. Yeah. And our third game is against Canada. The whipping girls of no disrespect to Canada anyway.
No, they are the whipping women in the group.
But can you just look at what you have on your screen? 100%.
Yeah. 2 games, 2 wins, 2 clean sheets, 6 points in the kitty. I think these ladies took off from what they did at the qualifiers, where we saw them, hold
beating
their own.
Everybody.
Especially defensively. The clean sheets were so much that we had to continually talk about it during the qualifiers. And now you played France, you played Korea. If you watch their Korea game, like you said, we had our hearts in our mouths because the Koreans were so good.
Fast.
But defensively, then sometimes you talk about, the luck in football. Some of those balls from the Koreans would have, on some days, went in. But they did their own part. And then, he's giving us the 6 points. And then you're going against Canada. See, one of the things I say about your every game is the fact that send a message to the next team that you will play. When they watch, the moment Korea saw how we played against France, I'm sure they had their worries.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, their worries, came to reality. Then also, for the first time in a long time, a woman's, one of the Nigerian team, both male and female, was seeing a clear-cut tactics by a coach. See, maybe I'm not one of the biggest fans of Christopher Danjuma, but in this competition, he has proven something to me. Soak up the pressure, break on the counter. We see teams, especially in the English Premier League, do that in the Champions League level. We let you have all the ball, but we are sure of our counter-attack.
All right.
And then that is what the Falconets have done.
Okay, this is good. Hopefully we get Austin in as well to get his thoughts on all of this, but this is good to see. This is hard.
We should continue looking at it.
We should continue looking at it. But hopefully, by the time we play the third game, it will still be like this. Let's quickly talk about Qatar. Yeah. We're pressed for time. Let's quickly talk about Qatar. I mean, it's always been about stories of this stadium is ready, that stadium is ready, this is ready, less than 100 days to the World Cup. Today, we're talking about the Lusail Stadium. Yeah. It's ready for inauguration. I mean, what else can we say about these people?
I think what they are doing now is crossing the T's, dotting the I's. The stadium that we're talking about probably unveiling or, showing to the entire world, it's not like it's not been ready. But they go back to doing another final touch. How can we make it more? We're hosting the entire world. This is the World Cup. It's not a European Cup, an African Cup, an Asian Cup. It's the World Cup. And then you look at your stadium and you're like, it's so beautiful, but there is still one more. And then they had that one more and they tell you it's not ready. If you had brought the World Cup during the summer, that stadium would have been ready. If you had brought it in January, that stadium would have been ready. So I think they just continue to put some final touches.
All right.
And we just want to enjoy the World Cup in the desert right there.
All right. Austin is back with us, and I want to yield the floor to him because he probably has a scoop. Let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, if you want to talk about Manchester United, they're losing, yes. But even as they are losing, as the issues about Cristiano Ronaldo. And we're hearing, I know it's happening at your end, we're hearing he might just get his wish to leave the club. How possible do you think that will be?
Let me let you know that some key members, backroom staff at Manchester United, even in the ownership, they don't want Cristiano Ronaldo to go. Yeah. You don't have a big name as Cristiano Ronaldo and losing, particularly when it's because of some mismanagement going on in the club. I said this over and over again until some of the ownership issues going on in Manchester United gets fixed, then these problems will persist. Cristiano Ronaldo truly wants to leave, and I'm sure you know a lot of clubs will jump on this guy because even if he's 50 and he's still the Cristiano Ronaldo that we know, you're buying for a whole lot of reasons. You're buying for merchandising. You're buying for promotion. You're buying for, worldwide acceptance. For a lot of reasons. It's Cristiano Ronaldo, for get-taking. So he doesn't like the situation at Manchester United. And Cristiano Ronaldo has always been in the forefront of things. He wants to play Champions League football. He wants to be in the media for the right reasons. He wants to play good football. At the moment, Manchester United, they're a team that is Qatar. They're ship without shepherd. So he wants to leave. But I can tell you what I hear from the media right here in the UK, some strong men in Manchester United still want Cristiano Ronaldo to stay, but I doubt they'll be able to convince this guy to stay.
All right, let's talk about the melodrama on Sunday. Give us the update. Antonio Conte and Thomas Tuchel, they have till Thursday to respond. They've been charged with improper conduct by the FA. I like the way you said it in your intro. They gave us drama, reminded us of the Mourinho days. I used to think that Tuchel was a gentleman, but sprinting down the line after, they got that second goal reminds us of Jose Mourinho. But what's the latest with, the situation as regards the two managers, even though they tried to play it down after the incident?
That's right, particularly Antonio Conte telling us, oh, please, don't talk about whatever a confrontation I had with Tuchel. Let's talk about the match, concentrate on the football. The football was good. We saw 4 goals and blah, 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 blah. But the FA did the right thing, by slamming them with that improper conduct. Let's wait for them to, respond to it. They're supposed to be leaders of their team. They're supposed to always be of good behavior because, a lot of persons look up to them. And you don't want to heat things up, particularly with the North London derby, because you're going to have a reverse fixture at White Hart Lane, and their fans might just, take laws into their hands. So for now, all we hear is this improper conduct charge that has been given to them. Let them respond. I'm sure they will come up with a lot of apology and, try to, as usual, play it down. But truly, they went out of line. They allowed emotions to take over them. And though football fans, to some level, like this sort of drama, want to talk outside of football. But I really expected much from both of them. I mean, these are top-class managers. It shouldn't have been about them. It should have just been about the football. Yeah.
All right. These are the cookie crumbles. Austin, I want to thank you for your time. It's good we did this together today. And, very interesting. Let me also get Kehinde Idris. I'm almost thinking out of time. Austin, stand by, but Kehinde Idris, in a few seconds. A lot of people said Thomas Tuchel was justified in his actions. Do you think he was?
I think to an extent. We mentioned the whole Mourinho issue, and if you go back to one of the famous, is the fact that an opponent's coach or assistant coach comes celebrating in front of you, and that was exactly what happened. Sometimes you trigger. He was getting emotional. This is Tottenham-Chelsea playing. This is, yes, you can say the second match in the season, but everybody is already looking at a season where you don't start well, you will end badly. So you want to pick everything you can. So yeah. I guess maybe that is my justification.
All right.
And also Conte is known for a bit of, too much energetic.
All right. Okay, ladies, I want to thank you for your time on the show. Always fun doing this with you. I will take this conversation, as always, out of the studio.
Of course.
All right. That's the show today. We do hope that you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. We enjoyed doing this. And, of course, we'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
London, I'm Austin Okorakpan. In everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.